It also depends on how many transactions your business needs. So if you have a company and you need 3 or 4 customers a year, you don't need as many transactions, and therefore you don't need as much marketing. But if you have a smaller product where you need to sell 10,000 units, you're going to need more help with marketing. So that's something to think about. Even if you're a huge company, if you only need a small set of, new business, you may not need to do the outsourced marketing or a big marketing campaign. So that's something to think about. Like in my business, for example, my company is essentially a consulting company, and we have bigger clients that spend a lot of money. And I can go out and do a speaking engagement and get a new client. I'm good. If I do a few of those a year, I'm set. So I don't need to hire a Nicole, if that's my goal. So that's something to think about. How many new customers are you needing to pull in based on what you're selling, and how many of those you need?
About half of our businesses are solopreneurs who are like, I'm going to find an intern. And they've already gone a year with saying, I'm going to have an intern do this stuff and I'll just manage it, and it doesn't work. So then they hire us to do what they couldn't get that intern to do, because they really need to go to the next level now and they were just stagnant. We also have businesses that have 20 or 30 people, and they have one person sitting on staff who's marketing focused, and they realize that literally it's impossible for one person to do every single thing that marketing entails. So it's anywhere.
So a lot of times I hear from small business owners, well, I should be able to do this, I run a business. But the fact is, I know nothing about archery, right? But I could probably go in and help Eric, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Eric, I could probably go in and help him market his business, because I know a lot about marketing. But just because he's a business owner doesn't mean he knows a lot about marketing. He knows about archery. I have a CPA, I have a bookkeeper, because I don't have the time nor the expertise. I have an MBA. I should be able to do my own books. Guess what? I don't do my own books. It's not my sweet spot, and I don't have the
Some
time.
people want to invest in the marketing, but they're not necessarily prepared for this new onslaught of interest in business that happens when that marketing happens. So that's something to think about. If you put up a new website and do some social media and drop some flyers, and now you got people that want to do business with you, are you ready? There used to be a commercial.
Restaurants or any kind of company that has limited capacity, whether it's a restaurant that only has so many tables, or
Right.
an auto detailer that only has so many slots in the day. A lot of these businesses went on Groupon, and then they had horrible, getting back to the daycare, they had horrible customer service, and they had horrible reviews on Yelp and on these other things because they couldn't service the business. And so that's why one of the most important questions I think to ask up front, exactly to David's point, is how much business can you handle without adding staff, adding resources, adding whatever? Because if you can't handle it, do not turn on some major campaign.
Right.
Because then you can't support, exactly to David's point, you can't.
Yeah, they spend a lot of money on marketing, and they would drop these postcards, a mailing to a very large base, and I would hear about it like 3 days after the piece dropped. And I'm like, I don't know who you dropped it to, I don't know what it said, what's call to action. So from a sales standpoint, if I wanted to call those people that they sent the mailing to, I'm not in a great position to effectively follow through so that we can go and start a sales discussion with those customers. And that's where the hand-in-hand comes into play. If we work together, I can understand what that postcard said and what's the point and what's the objective, and now let's go out and then talk with those customers and actually have a discussion where we can take it from, oh, you know about us from this card, to, oh, let's actually do business together because, now you know about us, now let's talk about it more. And that's the hand in hand, that's an example of it.
If there is a sales department, we go and talk to the sales department first to find out what words are being said when it's a successful deal, what's the definition of a good lead versus a bad lead. All of those kinds of things are what we consider before we even start a campaign.
One thing that drives me crazy about a lot of small businesses, they may say, oh, we're going to have an event where customers can come and learn about us and see our product, and they'll tell me about the event like a week before it's going to happen. Like, I can't do anything for you. It's too late. It's really too late, and there's no planning or thought going into why you're having this event and what you want the outcome to be.
And then no one shows up.
And no one shows up. That's
Weird.
magic. For me is to have a 60 to 90-day window before an event so that we can appropriately plan. So you want to be thoughtful about who you're inviting and why. If you're already working on sales opportunities, you can use the event to invite people that are already interested, and it actually helps move your deals forward and close deals. Everything should be targeted. It should never be random, in my opinion. So if you're having an event, you just don't say, oh, anybody come. There should be certain people you want to come, and everything that you're doing is about getting those people there. Here, and I know that not everybody's here in the Washington, D.C. area, but here in Washington, D.C. area, everybody's busy. So I can't call her and say, I'm having an event this week, can you come? She's going to be like, no, my calendar's booked for the next 3 weeks. And, those are things you want to
mention. What's in it for them to come? Because if you're doing an event to just talk about your business and put on a dog and pony show,
right.
They're gonna be like, great, what's in it for me? Not a whole lot, it's all in it for the business.
Right.
So giving them a reason to come, what's gonna be engaging to them and provide value to them, and if it's nothing more than a sales pitch, that's not real valuable. Because people, services providers, so folks like attorneys and accountants and financial advisors and bankers and stockbrokers, and they put on seminars. So if you're in the age bracket from probably 50 to 59, you probably get a postcard like every day in the mail inviting you to a dinner seminar where they're going to give you dinner and they're going to come and they're going to do a market update or a talk. They're going to bring in some expert who's going to talk about why the crisis in the Ukraine affects your portfolio, or something that's timely and providing you with information that's of value to you. Now, of course, the back end hope is that you're like, oh my gosh, I have to do something about this, and oh look, here's the answer. It's this financial advisor, but
their mind. Because you might not know when things are going on with them, whether they absolutely hate their towing company or need someone else. You want to get right in front of them as often as possible, probably monthly, maybe possibly quarterly. You want to set up a professional email newsletter so you can reach out to them and it's ongoing. And send out educational information, just as Hillary was saying, about webinars or seminars or whatever. It's not a sales tool, it's an educational tool, so people feel like you know what you're doing and they really should call you the next time they have a tow.